Hey guys, it's Jez here from Windows Central, and I recently returned from Gamescom having had multiple sessions with the Xbox Ally, and I thought I'd share some thoughts with you guys ahead of its October 16th release date. So yeah, the Xbox Ally comes in two flavors, the Xbox Ally X and the Xbox Ally. I don't know why they didn't call it the Xbox Ally S, but they probably should have done. Because it's the cheaper device, it's white in coloration like the Xbox Series S, but oh well, you know, hindsight's 2020, right? The Xbox Ally X is of course the more powerful of the two devices, sporting a Z2 Extreme chipset, and that's the device I got the most hands-on time with, but I did play the Xbox Ally S, quote-unquote S, as well, quite a fair bit. I was honestly quite impressed with performance across both devices. With the Xbox Ally S, I tried out Forza Horizon and also Hollow Knight. Both of them ran extremely well, 60 frames per second with no perceptible frame drops or anything like that. I didn't get much time to play around with the settings and things like that, but of course with these devices you can set the wattage yourself to boost battery life, the cost of performance and things like that. On the Xbox Ally X, I tried Gears of War Reloaded. I also tried Lies of P and Hogwarts Legacy. All of them ran extremely well. Gears of War being the most optimized, ran at 60 frames per second with no issues whatsoever. Lies of P, I set it to balanced Fidelity FX Super Resolution, and that ran at around, I would say, 40 to 50 frames per second. And then you had Hogwarts Legacy, which was probably the most intensive of all the titles I played. That ran at a very, very smooth 30 frames per second. These devices have variable refresh rates as well, which can help offset any hitching you might encounter and things like that. I was very impressed with the performance overall. Obviously, I didn't get much time to play around with settings. Maybe with tweaking settings, I could have got more performance out of it and things like that. But out of the box, very, very impressive. Obviously, there are some unanswered questions with these devices. Rumors suggest we're looking at around $899 for the Xbox Ally X and around $599 for the Xbox Ally S. But we don't know for sure yet. Obviously, the evolving tariff situations could have an impact there. We also don't know the estimated battery life of these devices, which is a surprise. Microsoft and Asus weren't telling us when we asked those questions. I suppose there's still optimization work to be done, and indeed I would say that probably the least polished aspect of these devices was the new Windows experiences. So the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X have this new setting which lets you set the Xbox app into full screen mode. When you do this, Windows offlines various aspects of the operating system such as the desktop. It's to free up system resources to offset some of those criticisms that we saw from over the summer that Linux distros run Windows games much better with Proton because of all the overheads that inherently come with Windows. But in addition to this, we also have a new task switcher and also optimized Xbox Game Bar, which makes Windows far more usable with the controller. These are additions that are very welcome on devices like this because one of the big criticisms of PC gaming handhelds was that Windows basically sucks for these kind of devices. You can't control the operating system with the joystick or buttons and things like that. And you've even got companies like Lenovo putting trackpads on their devices to offset the usability issues, right? However, these features were quite unpolished, at least in this build. I got them to crash a few times while switching around apps or trying to exit to the desktop. With 6 weeks out from launch, that's not particularly encouraging, but maybe these were running on older builds and maybe there's more than enough time to polish that stuff up. Microsoft did say that the team's working harder than ever to get this ready, so I would hope that they're a little bit more polished when it comes to launch. One thing that Microsoft and Asus absolutely nailed here, I think above everything, is probably ergonomics. They've moved the sticks, buttons, and triggers around to new places to make them feel nicer in the hand. They're also like the weight distribution across the device is probably among the best I've ever felt in a device like this. I've used all the previous Asus ROG devices. I've used the Lenovo Legion Go as my daily driver. I've also got 2 Steam Decks and a bunch of other random handhelds like GPD stuff lying around. And I would say, quite honestly, the Xbox Ally blows them all out of the water when it comes to pure ergonomics. It doesn't look very pretty, you know, just to look at it with your eyes, like these huge chunky handles and stuff like that. But this is totally an example of function over form. Like even things as basic as just picking up the device from the table, just having these like little ergonomic grooves so you can get your hand underneath the device without having to put your fingers all over the screen or accidentally activate the back buttons. It's a huge boon, and it's something that quite clearly Microsoft had a large hand in when it came to designing this device. So yeah, those are my initial impressions of the Xbox Ally. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Obviously, there's a lot more polish to be be done when it comes to software and things like that. Also, like, the elephant in the room, I suppose, is that this device isn't going to run all of your Xbox games. It's something I still get questions about quite often. This is a gaming PC. It's always a gaming PC and was always built as a gaming PC. It will run anything from Steam, anything from Good Old Games. It will run anything from itch.io, and pretty much, like, you could go all the way back to the 80s and run MS-DOS box games if you wanted to. When it comes to Xbox games, you're pretty much restricted to anything that has the Xbox Play Anywhere branding. So while there is over 1,000 Xbox Play Anywhere games now, many publishers don't want to support this program for whatever reason. They think they can sell you the game twice, maybe. They want you to buy a Steam key and an Xbox key separately and things like that. I would say the addressable audience for people who buy games twice is very, very limited, but this is one of the things Microsoft has to do, is convince developers to support Xbox Play Anywhere. More and more developers are supporting Xbox Play Anywhere, like Final Fantasy 16 was Play Anywhere, Final Fantasy 7 Integrate coming later as Play Anywhere, and there's even been some surprises like Silent Hill F is Xbox Play Anywhere, which I wasn't expecting myself. So there has been some headway made in that direction, but I think Microsoft needs to do even more if it is pushing ahead with devices like this. So yeah, those are my initial impressions of the Xbox Ally. If you like this video, slam the like button. Let me know any questions you've got about the device in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.